You're listening to Tech Gumbo on Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP, brought to you by Gulf South Technology Solutions. As always, I'm Haggai Davis.
I'm James Moak.
And you can get in touch with us at Gulf South Technology Solutions, 225-216-2169, or
on the web at gulfsouthtech.com.
Remind everybody, go to pulse.techgumbo.net. Vote. Let us know what you think. Give us a thumbs up, thumbs down. If this is interesting to you, we want that feedback. And once again, we're giving away a 1-year subscription to Microsoft Office 365. Good for the whole household. You get 5 copies of Office you can load on 5 PCs and or Macs, which is a big change for us. Go to facebook.com/GulfSouthTech. Type in the keyword
Office 365.
So we had a big Microsoft week this week, James. Microsoft had their Windows 10 device event. Rolled out some real cool stuff.
Yep, the Surface Pro 4, the Surface Book. This is a lot of things they've been talking about for some time, and as we've probably mentioned in previous shows, that Microsoft kind of gives us a glimpse into some of these things along the way, but they don't ever kind of tell us when it's going to happen. And so when it does, we get all excited, and we tend to. Microsoft tends to release a lot of this stuff starting in July at the partner conference, and then, of course, into the fall, which begins the buying season for holidays and things like that. And so that's kind of what spawns a lot of this.
Well, there had been a lot of talk about the Surface Pro 4, but the Surface Book caught everybody by surprise. Nobody was ready for that. The Surface Pro 4, every time you've always, in the past, when the new model comes out, it gets bigger. Well, the overall device is the exact same size as the Surface Pro 3, but the screen is actually bigger. The screen on the Surface, on the 3 was 13, but now on the Surface Pro 4, it's 13.5. So the bevel is smaller. So you get a bigger screen on the same form factor that you had before. It's got a faster processor, longer battery, and new processors in it. One of them is from the code name Skylake.
Yeah, absolutely. 16 gigs of RAM, solid state storage, from 128 gigs all the way to a terabyte.
And look, these things are not big to have a full terabyte of storage in them. That's cool.
Oh yeah, the NVIDIA GeForce graphics processor units that we're used to seeing in our desktop PCs. I mean, they're just continuing to beef these things up, but yet, keep the form factor small and light, 3.5 pounds. You can take them with you, travel.
And so the Surface Book Pro, the Surface Book rather, is a really, really beautiful computer. I mean, the hinge on it, because it's a clamshell, so that it looks like a traditional laptop, but then the screen actually detaches, and so you can make it into a tablet. You can snap the tablet, you can flip the tablet around the other way and lay it back down. So you have now, again, a full tablet, or you can use it as a laptop. I mean, just a really, really beautiful device. So excited about that. Surface Book, what is the starting price on those?
Excuse me, they're $14.99, and it looks like, they run all the way up to...
about $2,100.
So at least, yeah.
Yeah. So you got a wide range on the Surface Book.
Right.
The Surface Pro, the tablet with the detachable keyboard to it. Those are still going to be in the same price range as the original. You've got the same options where you can have an i3, i5, i7 processor. These are the next generation. These are 6th generation i3, i5, i7 processors. So they're really fast. You can also get the hard drives up from 128 gigs up to 256, and I think there's even a 512 gig on the Surface Pro 4. Again, very, very sleek machines. Just Microsoft really hit a home run with these. So, and the Surface Book, I have to get that right. The Surface Book has 12 hours of battery life to it.
Wow.
12 usable hours of battery life.
Yeah, they're actually getting to the point with the Surface and the Surface Book that people can use these in business. They can use them as their desktop. You know, I mean, we could do it with the Surface Pro 3. We could do it pretty good, but we were a little bit limited with the, like, say, running dual monitors. We could do it, but if it was really high-end, high stuff, we couldn't. And so with this, I mean, they've opened the door to a lot of high-end desktop workstation almost replacements, being able to do this type of processing.
You can get the docking station. You can drop that Surface Pro onto that docking station, and you can have multiple monitors plugged into your docking station. And so now, boom, there it is. You've got your multiple monitors that your
mouse, keyboard, all the stuff you used to have,
everything that you're ready for, that you're used to. But when you're ready to leave the office, you grab your Surface and you're out the door.
Yeah, but I mean, you could, depending on how you have it set up, you wouldn't have to have remote access to your office anymore if you have stuff on, OneDrive or, so whenever you get ready to go home at 5, you just, pop it out of the dock and away you go. And you have everything because a lot of times, come 5 o'clock comes, you're like, I got to run to a meeting, but I really need to finish this document. And so you could save it real quick and, run out with it and have it when you open it up at home, you're right where you left off.
Absolutely. And, or if you've got to get on a plane and fly to, a convention somewhere, you take your desktop with you. I mean, it's just that cool of a deal. And that's one of the things that I really like about the whole Surface and the Surface Pro and the Surface Book. Microsoft has done a really, really good job with that. Let's talk about some of the other things that Microsoft rolled out. They finally gotten some real-time information about the HoloLens. That's coming out first quarter next year.
The HoloLens Development Edition.
Yes, the Development Edition. And, $3,000 starting price. But, I mean, to watch these things and what you're going to be able to do with them, you just put this thing on your head and that's your computer. You don't need the display. I mean, you don't need a monitor. You don't need a keyboard. You don't need, this thing, that's your computer. And you start talking to it and you tell it this is what I want to do, and, put it, show me a map, and, and all of a sudden the map pops up and you can start pointing and going, and it's going to be an amazing thing. No telling where that one's going to go.
Yeah, so we could have our self-driving cars, and while our cars are driving us around, we could have our HoloLens on and, be doing, whatever.
Absolutely. That's
playing a virtual game or, what have you.
So what else did they roll out this week?
Well, they talked about the Microsoft Band 2, which I think you have the Microsoft Band.
I have the original band, yes.
Yep, and for the fitness buffs, that with a sleeker, more powerful band, health monitoring, wearable, solution that's improved in practically every way, compared to its predecessor.
Yeah, the first band, the one I have, it's got a flat screen across the top, and it's kind of, so you leave some angles in between, your wrist. It doesn't wrap around in a nice smooth way, whereas the Microsoft Band 2 is going to be bent to fit more appropriately around your wrist. So that's going to be nice.
And so, even for the ones, even for some of us that aren't maybe quite health buffs, it's a cool tech toy because, when you get just a couple of things, whenever you get a text or an email or a phone call, it comes up on the band, and you can tell if you can decide if you want to take your phone out of your pocket or out of your purse for the ladies.
Well, and if
take
you're
the
in
call
a meeting, it's one thing you can just look at your wrist instead of pulling your phone out and look at your phone to see what that message was. You roll it over and go, oh, that's a text. Okay, I just got a text from my son. Okay, I wonder what he's up. Or you can see an incoming phone call. Oh, James is calling. I better take that call. Or excuse me. As opposed to just grabbing your phone and yanking it out of your pocket and going with it. So that'll be fun to see. Microsoft rolled out some OneDrive improvements that they're going to be doing. That's going to be real nice. Trying to stay one step ahead of the Google and the Box and Dropbox and all that stuff.
Yeah, I think they're telling us there's going to be a new client, that's rolling out a OneDrive client, the client software that lives on your, on your desktop, your laptops and things like that actually facilitate the sync and the sharing of the documents, within OneDrive. And it's going to be some new sharing, some additional sharing options, so that users who share files through links can set requirements, for accessing them, where when I send a link to somebody, they can't just, pass that link on to anybody else and them have access to my files without me, giving them access to it. So it's a lot of security enhancements and things like that.
It's about controlling your data. And so if you store that up in the cloud on your OneDrive, once it's up there, how much control do you have? Well, when you start giving these permissions for people to download, or to do simultaneous editing and things like that, OneDrive is really stepping up with as they start rolling these new features out.
And they even offer the client for OneDrive, the OneDrive for Business client rather for iOS. So if there's anybody out there, they're using the iOS, the operating systems, and with Apple, what have you, there's a OneDrive for Business client for them as well.
That's right. I mean, I have it I have an iPhone, and I use my OneDrive on my iPhone quite a bit. So it's really impressed with Microsoft. They're just being very, very cloud centric and thinking ahead. So let's wrap up this segment and mention once again the copy of Microsoft Office 365. Go to our Facebook page at facebook.com/GulfSouthTech.
Put in the keyword Office 365.
And we'll draw names, get you a free 1-year subscription to Office 365. Coming up next, we're going to talk to Greg Pearson from the Baton Rouge Airport to discuss some technology issues out at the airport. As for now, you're listening to Tech Gumbo, Talk 106.